recovered from COVID, our family strolled the streets of Sorong, then sailed to Raja Ampat. So this is a really popular restaurant for cruisers here in Sorong. Seems to be the gathering spot for evening drinks. Here's the betel nut again. Have you guys noticed the betel nut spits? Yes. The little yellow taxis are called BMOs, and all the cruisers were laughing about them last night because they were, everyone here is too large to fit in them. So everyone keeps bashing, and Bruno was telling us that he had been inside one of the BMOs and it had pillows on the roof, so when the big people wouldn't bash their heads. That's so funny.
The passing BMOs were loud and eardrum exploding when riding inside. But we walked to the Saga shopping complex for lunch and supplies. This is when we realised how much we stood out and how people really wanted pictures.
That's quite a pile of cash you've got there, Dave. That's just 2,000 New Zealand dollars. So 2 million rupiah.
20 million.
Oh, sorry, 20 million.
That's 20 million rupiah.
Oh my gosh, we're just ending up with stacks of cash in different places, aren't we?
3 million. So that pile of cash,
yeah,
is 23 million rupiah. 2,300 New Zealand dollars.
It's just so much paper.
Most of it will disappear when we fill the boat up with fuel.
Yeah. Oh well.
But
That's what it is.
You have to pay for everything with cash, so you have to make sure you've got enough cash.
So you just got to carry wads of cash with you.
You've got to carry tons of cash so that you can do things like fill the boat up with fuel, pay for your park passes, which are like 3.5 million. You know. So it's yeah.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
I loved this. Coming from a dance background, I was bopping in the street while these superb ladies worked out. Not a lot of headroom, Dave.
No, there's not much at all. Kalau mau gunting boleh.
It's kind of funny. Do you want a fish, Dave? What do you reckon? Oh my goodness, we think we're looking at dead rat. Wow. Do you want some of that, Dave?
Not really.
I can't believe it's this time of year again.
Yeah!
No, Christmas decorations are coming out. It's now the 2nd of December.
Yay! Daylight.
Oh, you've got a sweetheart on your back. That's pretty gross, actually. Raja Ampat is a diver's destination, with underwater enthusiasts from around the world flocking to this region for the incredible scuba locations. It's an archipelago of over 1,500 small islands, cays and shoals amongst the 4 main islands. Our first destination was the island of Refueling, where friends on Osbos were anchored, and it wasn't long before we were under the surface exploring.
We were warmly welcomed by a family in the Refueling community. We were offered fresh coconuts, baked bread, and we posed for photos.
Look at these poor guys pulling their anchor up. We moved to a floating jetty next to Meridian Adventure Dive Resort and Marina in Waisai, and through them we organised refuelling of diesel. So they're bringing down the pipes now. When Dave's got all of his jerry cans all lined up, and we're going to fill the tanks, and they've just got to bring down the actual diesel.
And then 150 on the other side, and then 200 into the cans, just roughly.
It's just interesting to actually keep a record of how different places refuel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, sometimes we have big barrels next to the boat and they're hand pumping it.
Looks like a brewery.
It does look like a brewery, but it's all the filters for the fuel that we've just put into the boat. It's been a great place to refuel. Not the cheapest. When they're taking this much care, it's kind of worthwhile. So we're going to stay here at Meridian Adventure Dive Resort for at least a few days, and go and have a look at some bird of paradise on Wednesday morning, which we're super excited about, aren't we, team? But Dave doesn't want to come with us, so it's just me and the kids. Otherwise, we've refueled. We're just going to go into Waisai now and try and find where we pay for our marine park fees. Bruno's boat, he's going to come to town with us, and we're going to have a look for our marine park passes for Raja Ampat. Getting our marine passes. Bruno's just getting his first. We're going to pay for our passes to get into the areas of Raja Ampat. This is the public beach area, and I mean, it's just like a rubbish tip, isn't it? Yeah. Next, we carefully walked the elevated walkway to await the ferry from Sorong, which carried our sponsor letters for our first visa renewal.
Yeah, you just have to step down off the jetty. There's no steps or anything into the ferry.
Yeah.
And then you just give the guy the cargo number, pay him
And he
some
comes
money
out with it. Woohoo! Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't look easy to start with.
No, it wasn't. It's just trying to work out how it works is the hard part.
Yeah. Well, I did see lots of people disappearing down into the ferry, so
Very little English spoken.
bird watching. So we're here super early in the morning, and we're going to see the Wilson bird of paradise, hopefully. So that was the Wilson's bird of paradise, and we're just going to leave now. It's just after 6 in the morning. It was actually really pretty, that bird. Only one turned up this morning, but plenty of mosquitoes did, and I forgot our insect repellent, so trying to film the birds and swat mosquitoes at the same time was a bit challenging. During our trek back through the forest, our guide detoured to an observation tower where we could see the red bird of paradise darting about the branches above us. Oh, look at that tail. And red, With all our tasks complete in Waisai, we travelled to anchor off the small island of Abore.
have a power supply and almost like a network of power here, which is quite unusual.
Well, they've got power lines, so...
Yeah, they've got power lines. They've obviously got a generator or something here which powers the whole place.
That's really helpful. They've got arrows pointing the direction through this really narrow pass. Mangroves. This is a really pretty area that we haven't come and anchored in, but we want to go and find a walk that's supposed to be really nice. I love these arrows. So we're just going to head over to this jetty.
See any nails, Sophie? It doesn't look too bad from here.
There's one there, but that's
Too high, I think.
yeah, it's not going to touch the boat.
So we're at the top of this walk, which we weren't climb. We weren't 100% sure we were going in the right way, but we've come across these platforms. That particular platform we have chosen to not stand on.
Platform A and platform B.
Platform A and platform B. And B, although it would hurt if it all disintegrated, we're not going to topple down the hill.
No.
Whereas that one, yeah, that reminds me of a bit of a Cave Creek incident. I don't think we're going to do that one. Carefully picking our way back down the... Woo!
Oh, and she's down! Are you okay?
Yeah.
Shay, is she bleeding? No. Oh, I don't know.
I take back everything I said.
Here we go.
Quite intense.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Are you okay though? Ziffy, there were quite a few stages to that. Oh my goodness.
Gosh, Ruby.
Ziffy's just been telling us what the order of our family would be, of who would slip first. And she put herself, of course, at last.
Well, usually when I slip, it is bad.
Yeah, well that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was
You
They
like
put
that.
in a jetty like that and then they go to the trouble of putting the steps in and then it all just stops.
Yeah, Ziffy was just saying, we spent a heck of a lot of time not knowing if we were on the right path or not. Thankfully it wasn't a long walk. Otherwise, we would have just carried on walking through this volcanic rock, which, do you think it is volcanic here actually? It looks volcanic. Anyway, it's jagged and nasty. Gosh, the currents that whip past Aberrock, I'm not entirely sure how to say that word, but the currents are incredible. Yesterday we were dancing around with that liveaboard beside us because it had anchored quite close. They could see that we were getting a little bit nervous about their proximity to us, and because we all started twisting and turning in different ways, us and there was another liveaboard, them and Osbos, who were anchored near us, and all four boats were starting to move around, and in the end that big one decided, I think maybe I've anchored a little too close, I'm making all the little boats stress. So he up anchored and moved out a little bit further, so he's safely out there away from us, and here we go again. All the currents are picking up pace. We're going to leave now. We're going to lift the anchor and head out to another little spot where we hope to do a little bit more diving. In the next episode, we'll see more of Raja Ampat, stop in the Waiag Islands on our way to Morotai.